guys, Carol here with Desert Wreath Creations, and I want to welcome y'all once again to my garage crafting lair. Today we're going to do a DIY wreath that you can get with supplies from several different stores and make it on a budget. So our supply list today is going to be one roll. This is mesh that I got at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby at this time has 50% off on all of their mesh. So one row from Hobby Lobby. We're going to use 4 different ribbons. And our ribbons came from Dollar General. It's a Santa Claus ribbon. Wal-Mart. It's a 1.5 inch. Dollar General, once again. And then Walmart. So we're using Walmart and Dollar General ribbons. Hobby Lobby mesh. Let me catch that runaway. We're also going to be using this Santa Claus sign. We're going to make a rustic, sort of traditional wreath. This sign came on a yard stake. I got it at Walmart. I pried the stake off the back right here. And it's a wood sign. I take it outside and I spray it with just some clear coating so it protects it from the UVA if you're going to put it outside. Okay. This wreath form I found at the Dollar Tree. I found several of them there. I've never seen them there before. And I thought, pretty good. This is a 12-inch elevated. The 14-inch ones are flat ones. So this is elevated. And it already has these ties on it. So we're going to see what we can do with this. It's going to make a perfectly nice size wreath. So I found this at the Dollar Tree for only $1. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ties on the outside and 5 ties on the inside. So that's what we're going to be using. So look at your Dollar Trees. I picked up some picks at the Dollar Tree. They had these. I thought they were adorable because they bend. You're able to get several pieces off of them. They've got the cute berries. They've got apple. Country Christmas, guys. That's sort of the theme here. Country traditional Christmas. So I've got like 3 or 4 of these, and I thought we'd see what we'll do with those. Again, all you're going to need at the most is 3 pipe cleaners. Dollar Tree, guys. For the tools, you're going to need a pair of scissors. I use a rotary cutter to cut my mesh, but I'm also going to show you how to do it with scissors. And I use something to cut my pipe cleaners off if we decide we do that. These are big ones. I stole them out of my husband's stuff. Shh, don't tell him. I also make my bows on an Easy Deluxe bow maker. I have these in my shop if you're interested. And all of the supply lists will be linked below. We may end up using a glue gun. If we do, it'll be very little. Okay? So I'm going to clean all of this mess off. And we're going to come back and we're going to start step by step on how to put this thing together. See you in a minute. Hi guys, what we're going to do first is we're going to start on our frame and our mesh. This is the Dollar Tree frame. It has the ties on it. 7 on the outside, 5 on the inside for a total of 12. So how I calculate how large I can make a ruffle and have plenty to go around this using this and making it as full as I can is I take the label, and this comes 10 inches wide and it's 30 feet long, which is 10 yards. I take this 30 feet and multiply it by 12. There's 12 inches in a foot. So that would give us 360 inches. Okay? So if we've got 360 inches and we want to know how many inches that we can cut per piece to put into a tie, you divide how many ties you've got in it. So if you divide 12 into the 360, you get exactly 30 inches. But as we know, sometimes there may be a little bit more on a roll of mesh, and there may not be as much as what you need. So I always take it down 1 inch. So today we're going to cut our mesh to 29 inches, okay? So I'm going to set our frame over there. I have what's called a self-healing mat. I use a rotary cutter. It's like a razor blade on a wheel. I got mine at Walmart. My mat is 36 inches wide. You do not have to have one of these. You can cut it on scissors by using a yardstick. So what I do is number one, we're going to come from this direction, sorry. And my number one is down here. So I'm going to put it on the 1. I'm going to come up here to my 29, and I'm just going to take this rotary cutter and go straight across it. And that is going to make a really lovely ruffle for our wreath. So if I didn't have a mat and I had a yardstick, I can still be laying this up against my yardstick right here. I would come down here, put it at the very end of it, come down here to the 29 inch, and I can cut it with a pair of scissors. It's not going to matter. And I'm going to show you a technique that's going to help the fraying of this fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut all of our mesh up to the 29 inches. And then I will come back and we'll start assembling our wreath. We've got all of our pieces cut on our mesh to our 29 inches. We're going to start putting it together. I suggest if you're a beginner wreath maker, or even I that have been doing them for quite a while, I like something that's a little heavy. I use this rock I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I like little things with personal sayings. You can use wire cutters. You can use your scissors. The longer you cut your piece of mesh, the harder it is to ruffle sometimes because it wants to do this curly-Q thing, okay? So I'm gonna show you a technique to help with that. So let's get our frame started. We're just gonna open up all of these ties around the bottom. That just makes it easier for when we spin our wreath around, and it's just more efficient. You may have your own way of doing it, and that's absolutely fine. So now what we're going to do, see how this mesh rolls in? I'm going to take something heavy and I'm going to place it upside down, basically. This is the right side of the mesh and this is sort of the wrong side, but in the mesh they both look the same. This is where it has a tendency to curl up. We're just going to give this just a couple of little curls like so, and then take you a chip clip and then press it down on that end. Then we're going to take this mesh and we're going to do a couple of little rolls right here. Don't force your rolls. They need to be, if the more you try to force them, they get real tiny and they don't lay real pretty. So now what we've done is we've created a curl and a curl. So now with the chip clip on it, it holds it pretty straight. Now I'm going to take my 2 thumbs, I'm going to place them right here on this side of the curl, spread my fingers out, and I'm going to ruffle it right up the middle by taking those thumbs and pushing and pulling. Push with my thumbs, pull with my fingers. Push, pull, push, and I'm holding where I'm gathering that up with my thumbs. When I get right here, I sort of spread my fingers out to hold it, and then I pick it all up like so. It should look similar to that. We take this piece, we come over here, we put it in our tie, and we tie it down snug. It only needs to be tied about 1 twist, and then you can sort of spread that out. See how pretty that is? And the coverage is going to be excellent. It's going to make a stunning country Christmas wreath. So we're going to do another one. This is called the Woodland Ruffle technique. So we roll it a couple of times, 2 times. If you decide you like yours to be rolled 3 and have a bigger curl and less ruffle, you can do that. See, I'm pushing with my thumbs, pulling with them fingers, push, pull. This mesh makes it a little easier because it has a stripe going right up the middle. So now we're going to come over here, we're going to pull this one to the side, and we're just going to set this one down in the middle of that tie. And we're going to take it and we're going to tie it also. Bring it up, pull it away from this other one, and then butt them right up and next to each other, and that's making a pretty little ruffle right there. And we're just going to continue to do this all the way around the outside of the wreath frame, and then we're going to start on the inside. Let's get us a rock over there because it's still wanting to curl. Sure is pretty mesh. I like to find local deals. Not everyone can order, and it gets expensive to order from different companies and having to pay shipping and all. If you want to make a gift for the family, using access to Hobby Lobby when they have sales, Dollar General, especially during the holidays, you can make beautiful Christmas gifts. Or just decorations for your own home. So we're going to continue to do this all the way around. Last ruffle, going around the outside of our wreath frame. Two rows. Then we flipped it, put 2 curls or rolls on this end. And we're just ruffling it up the middle. Since this is the last one, make sure you pull it on the right side. Whoops. Wants to stick a little too good. There we go. Pull it from the right side and ruffle it up. And the left. Okay? And see how gorgeous that already is going around? So now what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and open all of these ties up here so that they'll be ready for us to do our mesh. We're going to continue the same exact way with the Woodland Ruffle. Is curling it twice, flipping it, and curling it 2 more times, and then the thumbs and the fingers. Push with your thumbs, pull back with your fingers to get that beautiful ruffle. Pull it together. I hold mine here. So this time for the inside, I like to pull my ruffles back a little, then come over the top, put my tie in, and twist it one good time. Do the same thing as you did the outside, sort of gather your ruffle up, pull it away from this outside, and make sure it butts up. So this helps both sides, the top and the side, come together. Right there, and it covers up any gaps. It just makes those little ruffles stand up real pretty. We're going to continue on to the next few ruffles, and it'll be completed with all of our mesh. Now remember, when you're purchasing your mesh, that if it looks thin, it is thin. Some of Hobby Lobby's mesh I don't recommend, because I feel that it's really difficult to work with, and it doesn't cover very well for the price that you have to pay for it. Keep an eye out at Walmart, especially during the holidays. Last year, they had a lot of mesh similar to this. The thing about it is that I was able to find some that did have those 30 feet in them, but a lot of Walmart's mesh is real expensive for like only 18 feet. That's not, just barely over half of a roll. This is double the amount that you would get for Walmart for the price that Walmart is selling it. So stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to start giving some tips in the community how to look to tell good mesh from bad, do some little short videos, how to get the best deals, not just mesh, but on some ribbons, and how you can decorate your wreaths by just using things that are very unconventional that you might see and never had thought about making something gorgeous for your home, for a gift, wedding shower, birthday, and so on. We're just continuing to go around this. I love to craft, and I love Christmas, guys. Christmas is my favorite time of the year besides 4th of July. 4th of July, I love to decorate for the 4th of July. This is our last piece that we're going to be putting on the top, and last piece of mesh, period. So we're going to do like we did around the bottom. Make sure that tie's open. I can see it down in there. I'm sort of going to move both sides over like so and get it down in there. This is the hardest one for me to, not the hardest, it's just, mesh likes to stick to each other, which is a good thing because it makes it beautiful. But it's just getting all of the sides right like you need to. I'm like pulling it up from the outside around your wreath and from the side you put in before. And you're still going to get a little bit of fraying. But if we hadn't have turned our curls around, sort of curling it in, it would have been a lot worse. So this is one technique, the Woodland Ruffle, that helps hide all that stuff. You can go from the inside and push your curls out some if you want. But see how nice and clean this little back is? And this is what we've got. Look how thick and luscious that is. Okay, so let me get everything together so we can start putting our ribbons on, which will be step number 2. Okay guys, who's ready for some ribbon? I just wanted to lay the sign right here on top of what we put together with our ruffles. Isn't that so adorable? Remember, I got this sign, it was on a wood long stake that you would put out in your yard. And I just took the wooden stake off of it, sprayed it with some clear matte UVA protection that you can get at like Home Depot. You can even pick it up at Walmart, and then just let it dry. That protects it from the sun and the weather. I usually put on 2 coats. I let it dry and then I spray another coat, and it's really fast drying, but it's one way to really preserve your sign. Okay, so I'm going to push the wreath right out in front of us, and we're going to look at our ribbons. This ribbon here I picked up at the Dollar General store. This is called a 2.5-inch ribbon. It's a very nice ribbon. It's almost a canvas. It's very thick. It's got a really nice wire in it, and it's going to give you excellent coverage. See how pretty that's going to make that pop? It's going to be more of a traditional Christmas. The ribbon there is $5 a row, and this row has 30 feet, which is 10 yards. This would be enough to do like 2 wreaths, guys. So we're going to use this. This next ribbon I also got at the Dollar General, and it is $2 a row. This one I thought would go very nice with our Santa Claus. Isn't that adorable? And it says, Happy Holidays. Had to know if I could still read there for a minute. It says Happy Holidays. And it matches this other one perfect. This is also a 2.5-inch ribbon. However, there's only 9 feet in this. So it's going to take 2 rolls to go around your wreath and to make and be able to have a really pretty bow, and you'll still have some left over. This one here I got from Walmart. This is a 1.5-inch ribbon. You get 45 feet, and this is like 15 yards. So you get like 15 yards of this at Walmart for $8. And that's enough to nearly do 3 wreaths. And it's a 1.5-inch, which is going to go real lovely with these ribbons. This ribbon here is another Walmart ribbon. Isn't that gorgeous? And again, 45 feet for $8, and it's enough to do 3 wreaths of this size. So really the value is there. And think about a rustic, that you could use this one for a rustic patriotic wreath. Could you not? So this could be an all year round, a farmhouse wreath. So if you see these, just don't think, well, I won't use it all. You can save it and make you a farmhouse wreath with it. So what we're going to do with these, I like to line my ribbons out, and we're going to cut these to 12 inches. You can do it one of 2 ways. You can do each one individual by putting it on the 1 yard line, and we're just going to do 12 inches. So you can put it there at the 1 and come down here to the 12 and cut it with your scissors, okay? Or you can go ahead and do like multiple cuttings at one time, and where you can lay them on top of each other. And cut 2 of your ribbons at one time to save you a little time. Okay? Then once you have your ribbons cut to that 12 inches, you can take 2 of them at a time, or 3, or do 1 at a time. Then you're just going to fold it in half. And see where this folded edge is? I'm going to come from this outside edge to this corner right there. And I'm not going to go real deep because my preference is I don't like the real deep dovetail or a V or a fishtail. People call them many different things. I call it a dovetail. I like to go at just barely a slant, okay, and then cut. And these ribbons are really thick, and I feel like that is a very pretty dovetail or a V. And then I would just turn it around, line the other ones up, and just repeat the process. With using these ribbons, all I'm going to need is 6 of each color. Just 6 ribbons. So that's why your ribbons are going to go further, because we're using more ribbons. If you just wanted to pair 2 of these together, you could do that also. If you just wanted to use 2 1/2 inches, you could do that also. Because the process is, I'm just showing you how I do it, but you can put your creation together yourself. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut 6 12-inch pieces of each one of the ribbons and dovetail these by cutting our V in them. And then I'll be right back and I'll show you how to put these in. Okay, guys. Now we have all of our ribbons cut. And what I've done is I like to stack my ribbons. So I actually cut 6 12-inch pieces of ribbon and did our little pretty V dovetail. So what I did is I stacked them with the Santa Claus and with this really pretty plaid. Then I stacked the Snowflake with this, this is called a stitched ribbon, and it's got the green, the red, and the green with the lighter green trim and a red trim on it. Okay? And so that's how we're going to be putting ours in. So they're cut to 12 inches, and I paired them. So I'm going to take the pair, and what I do is I just lay the 1.5 inch right down the middle of the 2.5. I take it, I fold it over in half, and I press it down, and that's going to find me a center. So then when I open it back up, I make sure it's in the center. I take my 2 thumbs and I sort of ruffle it together like a little accordion, okay, till I have this. Then I take my fingers here and I take them and I pull it towards me. Sort of like a bird taking flight, little wings, handlebar mustache. So then I'm going to take a tie right here where it's open, place it right down in that tie, and I'm just going to twist it 1 time. So, and then here is our ribbons. I sort of spread them out a little bit. I don't do a lot of work on them right at first, because as you go around, you'll constantly, you know, at the end is when you're going to put all the final touches on it. So I'm going to leave this, and I think I'm going to twist it at least twice, and I'm just going to take a crafting dowel, because these are pretty, and this is a country, so we want them to be seen, because we're going to put other stuff in this. And I just sort of twisted them to the back. So now we're going to move on to the next one, and it's the Snowflake plus this dash ribbon. Same principle, right in the middle of it. Fold it in half. Find your center. Spread it out. Take your thumbs, and we're just ruffling it, sort of like a little accordion fold. Take it, smooth it out, and pull it towards that thumb. This side towards that thumb. That helps for when you go to put your ribbon in. You're already putting it into the shape that where you want it to be at. And I'm just taking this, twisting it, pushing them together, and then I just take this dowel and wrap it around going backwards. Then just take your fingers. You can pull them out however you want. You can crisscross them. We're just going to sort of leave them like that for right now. And then you just go on to the next. What I like to do with the stacking of my ribbons is I can go ahead and get them together, and it just makes smoother going around the edge of my wreath. I'm not having to, I used to keep them all separate and then pick them up, and I was always getting out of picking up the wrong ribbon, putting it with the wrong one. So for me, this works best. But if you've got a process already put in place, you do what works best for you. We all craft different. We're all each individuals. I think this is going to be super adorable. I love the traditional Christmas. I love the glitter too. But see how that's looking so far? And these were just 12 inches long. And with only having 12 ties on these little frames, I'm telling you, it makes a gorgeous wreath on a budget. Turn it under, and we're just going to keep repeating this process till we're all the way around. It's going to roll off my desk. I'll also be listing supplies that I think that if you're really interested in making wreaths all the time, some that you could buy on a budget and make your crafting a little easier. When I started out, I didn't have a big mat. I had a little small one. I started out with just, well, I still use the Wal-Mart rotary cutter. But I think the rotary cutter and a rotary cutter, a mat, and a good pair of scissors are my 3 top things to crafting, especially making wreaths. I had a really cheap pair of wire cutters, and I'd have to work miserably at them. Now Harbor Freight is out there, and you can pick up industrial tools like the men have that makes it a lot easier on you to cut those wires and different things. And a glue gun, so now we've made it to the last ribbon, and I wanted to show you something. With only we don't have the equal amount of ties around the outside. So when you do ribbons like this, instead of just maybe doing the Santa and one of these, this plaid, we've been alternating, but there's only 7 ties. So it doesn't matter which ribbon we come to next. It's either going to be one just like the Snowflake or one just like the Santa. It's not going to matter. You may know it's there, but I guarantee you no one else will. So I'm just using what's next in my lineup, which happened to be a Santa. So this was the last ribbon going in around the outside. And see how lovely that is? A little Santa Claus. Now we're going to start putting our ribbons in these ties right here that we've got on top. Just wondering, let's measure this out. So for that little 12-inch frame, so I'm going to measure from right here to the 1, and that's given some extra because we're going to have a little ribbon hanging over. This is going to be a 22-inch in diameter wreath, which is a lovely size. Lovely. So on the top, we're going to fold them the same. We're going to crease them. But this time I'm not pulling them forward. I'm just sort of bending them down, like so, because I'm going to put them straight in. Go all the way down. Don't tie your ribbon halfway up. Push it all the way down and then twist it. And then we're going to do the same. We're going to go ahead and just curl this tie around. Okay? This is going to give it a little extra right there. Then what I do is I take my 2 ribbons and I just pull them apart. Then I come back this other way, rotate it, and I pull them apart the opposite direction. And that makes a lovely flower appearance, or an X, okay? But it spreads those ribbons out and gives much, much more coverage, where it looks like you've even put extra ribbons in it. We're going to do the same for all 5 ties on the top, still folding it in half. Making our bird wings or whatever you want to call them, going straight down. And when I go straight down, I take my pointer finger and I push it right down in to this tie. If it was a pipe cleaner, I would still take that finger and push it right down. And on these wreath frames that I got from the Dollar Tree, they are, the wires in them are really good. Then I just take them, pull it apart, turn it back around, and do the opposite. You can take your fingers and just sort of, I'm really surprised at how well these ribbons are from Walmart and from the Dollar General. They're very nice ribbons. If y'all wouldn't mind leaving me a comment, your thoughts on this tutorial, suggestions of what y'all would like to see. Give me a thumbs up so I can know that you're liking my content, so I can keep delivering it. And subscribe. That way you'll know when I put new content out. I would dearly appreciate it. So we're just pulling these apart again. If this gets in your way, just sort of move it. Put it back in the center where it belongs. Take those fingers and just run them over it. This is looking gorgeous, guys. It's going to be really pretty. We're just doing our little bird. Taking my finger, pressing it down in the center of that tie and twisting it. If you feel like these are too long for you, all you've got to do is take your wire cutters, clip them off somewhat, and then you can go ahead and bend them over. That is your preference. That gives you two ways of doing it. You'll have to be the one to figure out what you like doing the best. Come here, little Santa. Here's our last set of ribbons going in on the top. Going straight in, pushing it in with my finger, and twisting it really good. Because you can see how long these are right here. So let's just cut this one off. And I can still take my little dowel. I get all my little crafting dowels and stuff, Dollar Tree. See, that one sort of got in the way. And I ended up pushing some in there. It's okay. So that's what we've got with all of our adorable ribbons inside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move over to the sign. And I'm going to show you how I attach it from the very beginning. I'll be right back. Now it's time for us to put our sign on this gorgeous wreath. So here, let me get the sign. First, you want to try to figure out where you want your sign, because we're also going to go through making a bow. I think this ribbon right here, because it's directional and it's got the face of the Santa Claus on it, and this one right here, I would like them to be able to be seen. So I'm going to sort of rotate this around to where I can put our sign, let's see, maybe right here. We can have that ribbon right there at the bottom of it. Okay, and the ribbon right here. And then we can put our bow right over here to the other side. I think that would be adorable. Okay, so what I said is I took this off of a wooden stake. I took a old knife and pried the board off of it. And like I said, I coated it with a matte finish clear UV protectant that I got. I think I got mine at Walmart. And I put 2 coats on it and let it dry. So your back is completely smooth. What I do for this size of a sign, I take 2 pipe cleaners. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ends and I'm just going to roll them a little bit, about 3 or 4 times. Then I'm going to squish this pipe cleaner together to where it's really squished together. So when my staple goes in, it goes on each side of it, and this gives it a cushion. And I'm going to do that to both of these pipe cleaners. Smash it together. Squish it, smash it. And on this side, I'm going to put one at the top, up here, and one at the bottom. And what this does, it allows us to have a really long tying so we can get it onto that frame really well. What helps me out a lot And some of you may not have a little bitty stapler like this. This only shoots a 1/4 inch, real tiny short staples. I got this at Home Depot, and they had the staples to go along with it. Before I was able to get one of these, I used just a regular staple gun from my office, to where you can lift it. Let me do this right here, like so, and I put my staples in like that. So I'll show you how to use both ways. So what I like to do is I like to take my glue gun. I'm going to get this right up here, not right directly at the edge of it, and I just put a glob of glue, okay? And then where I've pressed this together to make it thicker, I just stick that in that glue and let it start drying, okay? And we'll go ahead and do this one on the bottom the exact same way. A glob of glue. And we'll start letting this dry up a little bit. And I say a glob, I use a glob. The thing about hot glue is that it does stick to wood really good. So if you didn't have a staple gun, you could let this dry and then put another coat on it. But if you live in an area and you're going to use this for outdoors, hot glue, when it gets hot, it starts getting soft again. So it can come loose in hot weather. And in extreme cold temperatures, it gets hard and cracks. So just a thought. So taking this that's got these little staplers, we're going to use this one first. The glue's still sticky, and I know it. I'm going to go right in the middle, and I'm just going to press down. You're going to hear a loud noise. Okay. And I'm going to come away with some glue. You can wait till it dries or whatever, but it comes right off. And I really like these because it's a little bit bigger stapler than that. But I used that for a year or so before I could get a stapler. So now we're going to take, just like if you were stapling to a board or something, we're going to take this one, we're going to put it right over the top of it and apply pressure and press it down. And it went right into that. If it's sticking up a little bit, take you something and hammer it in, okay? Then we're going to come back over where these staples was and just put some glue on both of them, and then let it start cooling down. So that is how I prepare my sign to put on my wreath. You put this one up. So we're going to let this dry, and I'll be right back, and we'll put it on our wreath. Now for our sign. The glue has dried. These are on there really good. So let's go back to the place that we were going to put it on at. And that was going to be in between this Santa here and this Santa there. So this is going to be our top. Okay? I think that is adorable. Very, very cute. So I'm going to make sure these ribbons, let's go ahead and get this one out there too. We're going to take this pipe cleaner, and we're going to run it all the way down through all the mesh. You're just going to have to sort of stick it through with one hand, go to the back side of it, and sort of feel around until you got it pulled through. It can be a little tedious. There we go. So I've got that one through where I want it. So I'm just going to rotate my wreath. I'm going to take this one. And I'm going to do the same thing. Straight through the mesh and all, and pull it down. Then I'm going to hold on to the side and I'm going to flip it over. So here are our two ties, one here by this inner ring and one here. What I like to do is I like to take this, go up and under where this still has a loop here. Here's a loop, and here's the end of my tie. And I put the end of my tie, pull it a little snug, because I don't want that, you know, sun to smash all of our pretties. And I'm going to pull it down, then I'm going to take it down, and I'm going to do the same process one more time. And that's sort of like tying a knot right here on that pipe cleaner. And I'm going to leave it like that for right now. So I'm going to go under, and there's my loop. I'm going to pull it up. Until it's just snug, not real tight. And then I'm going to repeat that process one more time. Before, when I go to clean up these pipe cleaners on the back, I will make sure these are good and tight. And sometimes I like to put just a dab of hot glue on it. So now we're going to flip it back over. Now we flipped our wreath back over, and of course it's flat. We stood it on its head. We're going to come out here. We're going to fluff our ribbons a little bit. Pull them out from around our sign. Our sign is on there very good. Here's a ribbon hiding. And we'll fix that little thing so it's not in Santa's face. So what we'll do is we'll just take it and turn it around to where it's up higher. Right there. Okay? Just straightening our ribbons up, and we'll do some more at the end. There we go. So now that we've got our sign on there, we're going to move over to the bow. Who's ready to make a bow? Be right back. It's bow time, guys. So we're going to jazz up our Santa with a beautiful bow. So let's put our wreath to the side. I use an Easy Bow Deluxe. Got some debris there. So what we're going to start with, we're going to use the same ribbons that we used in our wreath. So there's no rules of thumbs to making a bow. If you would like to learn more, I have a bow group, Desert Wreath Creations Bow Tutorial on Facebook. It's a free group, and the description is linked below. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with our snowflake ribbon. I want to leave this to the first. With this bow maker, you just go ahead and place it right there. Makes it easy. The first step in making a bow is to make sure you've got enough ribbon out. Then determining how long you want your tails to be. Tails are the part that hangs down your wreath. So I thought I've got about that much, so let's see. There's 8, that's 12 inches. I've got a number 8 here and a 4 here, and this would be 0, so that's about 12 inches. And I think that would be perfect for this wreath. So I'm going to lay it out where I measured it, and I'm just going to do that little organ fold again, guys. And then I'm going to take it and put my thumb underneath it, and I'm going to twist. Okay? And I'm going to bring this little pretty snowflake right out in front of me. Now that I've got this ribbon and I twisted it, what it did is it left it on its wrong side. So to make a loop, we're going to just flip it over, go ahead and put one side of our ribbon in, and I'm going to come out here to the 6-inch. This is the 6th. All I'm doing is putting my hand right here in it, and it guides me to the 6 right here. So I take this and I scrunch it up in my hands and I give it half a twist. And what I want you to do is I want you to keep that loop fluffed up. That's going to help a whole lot, is keeping this loop fluffed up. I'm going to take it and I'm going to pull this loop towards me because this tail is towards me. Then I'm going to pull some more ribbon out, lots of ribbon, go in with the side that's going to leave it back to the correct side again, come over here at the 6 inch, pull it taut, and then I'm going to twist it, okay? And that's going to give us our other loop. But this time with this loop, I want it to go up, but I still want to make sure that it's still fluffed up there. Pull us some more ribbon out. I've got it tangled. There we go. Come right here with this hand again, right here on the 6, pull it a little taut, okay? We're going to take it, scrunch it up again, and just give it a half of a twist, okay? We're on the wrong side, so we've got to come back over it again. Come out here to that 6 inch mark, okay? Put our ribbon in, measure it again to make sure, because I can move things. But this time, I'm just going to smash it all down in the center, and we're going to bring this tail, this right here, out towards us where this tail is. Okay, so we've got a loop up here, keeping it fluff, one here, one right here, and one right down here. So I can pull these out. They don't have to be even. It's your preference. So this is called a 2-loop bow, meaning there's 2 loops on each side. And all you do is you layer on top of it. So we've got 2 loops of this gorgeous snowflake ribbon. So now what we're going to lay down is I thought we could go ahead and let's put our Santa Claus. Now, at the beginning, I told you the Santa Claus ribbon only had 9 feet. So far, we're still on 1 row of the Santa Claus ribbon. So I'm just wanting to look and see if I'm going to have enough. See how gorgeous that is? Because I really want Santa to be loud and proud. So it can be a little bit shorter. So that would be about right here. Then if I was to go, say, to 5 inch, I would have to double that. Then another 5 inch, I'd have to double that. And I would not have enough ribbon to complete the bow. But don't throw it away. I don't throw ribbon away, guys. I'll fold it gently. And I've got a container that I put rimlets like this in. So let's get our other row of Santa Claus ribbon out of my basket and continue making our bow. This is why I said you would need 2. If you didn't want a bow, or you just wanted to use the Santa in your bow and use the snowflake ribbon because there's more in it when you buy it, that's perfectly fine. There's no rules when it comes to wreathing or crafting. This is a little wrinkled. We're just going to take our fingers, because this is really good ribbon, and I'm just going to sort of pull it out. Just going to go ahead and dovetail that where that crease was. And this is what you call a directional ribbon. See how Santa Claus is, this is facing right here? I want to keep this way. So we're going to go in again. I'm going to take it. I'm going to do that half twist. And I'm going to bring Santa right down here Isn't he pretty? Still not smashing our bow loops. I'm going to pull Santa over. And I'm going to come out here to the 6 inch, just like I did on the other one. And I'm going to twist him again. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to twist him at the 6 inch again. And I'm going to stuff it down in there. I think that is so, and I'm only going to put the one loop. See, I put 2 loops and I put the 1 loop to where it would be right in there. But look what happens if I was to just pull this tail down now. Our Santa Claus is going to be upside down. And I don't want Santa Claus, I want to be able to look at it and for it to be the right direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up here, right on the other side of this, and I'm going to cut that off and just push it back down in there. Okay? So now where I've cut this off, I want to measure out about how long of a piece I would need. So I need about, I want to go ahead and, it's not going to matter up here. There we go. And then I'm going to turn it upside down and put it in our bow to where our Santas are facing. And I'm going to turn the bow maker around so you can see what I'm talking about, because it's probably looking a little backwards to you. So if you're actually looking at the bow from this angle, I've got the Santa Claus going the right way. If I would have continued the way we were going, the Santa Claus would have been upside down. So what I did is went ahead and cut it and then rotated it. So now that when I put that Santa back in there, he's going to be the right direction, just like this one is on this side. So I cut this off. You just take it, crumple it up like we did on the table, okay? You take it, just poke it right down there, real tight. Keep all of these nice and plugged and pull him down to the front. And we'll dovetail him and everything else here in just a minute. All right, now we have a gorgeous Santa Claus. Now we're going to come in with this little 1.5 inch ribbon. We're going to make it a little shorter. That way you continue to see your layers. So looking forward at your bow or down up on your bow, you can still see this snowflake and you can see Santa. And once we get it all together, it'll be the same way all over your bow. So I'm going to start measuring my tail. I'm going to put it in and I'm going to twist it, push it down in there, pull it forward. I'm going to pull a lot of ribbon out, and this time I'm going to come out here. There's a 5 mark, so I'm going to come down a whole inch, okay? And I'm just going to twist it, and since this came towards me, I'm going to make this loop come towards me. We're going to twist it there, come over here to the 5, twist it, and move this loop up, which is way too long. There. And we're going to continue. Let's pull this one in some more. This is going to be a 4.5. That's what I measured this one at. That's okay. Doesn't matter. And we can also, since we're getting stacked thicker, I can take this ribbon right here and put it right on top of that one, twist it, and then move it up, keeping it fluffed. Same way here. I can measure it right off of that one and pull it right down here and pull this one straight, because this is not, doesn't have a pattern to it. It just has those the stitching in it. And see how when I did that, you can still see the Santa Claus in between those 2 loops. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to cut this ribbon off. Now we're going to bring in the plaid ribbon that we use. Starting on this side, going just a little shorter. I'm going to put him in, twist it, bring it forward. But all we're going to do is do a little tiny one loop on this. This is what I call it a button, a center loop, but I'm not going to put any other loops besides just a center loop on this bow, right here in the middle. Just to bring in the colors that we put over here on the wreath, right into our bow. But instead of just going right down in it, I'm going to twist it. And I'll show you why I twisted it here in just a minute. And if you'll notice though, when I did that and only did one loop, it put them both on the same side of the bow. I'm going to show you how to fix that. Okay, so we're going to come down here, cut that off, and move that over. Here is where your third pipe cleaner will come in. I use a pipe cleaner on my bow. You're more than welcome to use zip ties. I fold the pipe cleaner in half. I set it over here to the side. I turn my bow maker to where I'm looking at it sideways. I take my pointer finger and my middle finger, and what I'm doing is these dowels right here, I'm just going to go right up under them, and I'm going to start lifting this ribbon real gently because I stuffed it way down in there, right? And make sure you get under all of it. So now I'm able to put my fingers, the dowels will just like this, go right under here, but I'm going to take this right here in the middle and I'm going to push it down so that now I can get my thumb right there on the side. Okay, and I'll show you why. These fingers are the dowels in between them. My thumb is right here, so I have control of my ribbon. And now all you've got to do is slide it off. Not heavy, I'm not squishing it hard, I've just got control of it. I put the pipe cleaner on each side. I come underneath it, just like so, and see where the dowel was in between those fingers? Now my pipe cleaner's there. So I'm just going to put a little pressure. And when I put a little pressure on it, I can lift my thumb. And I'm going to place my thumb now right there on top of that pipe cleaner. And as I do that, I'm going to push my thumb down in it, and I'm going to pull that pipe cleaner. So push with your thumb, pull the pipe cleaner real tight, start like a twist. Then I'm twisting my bow. I'm not twisting my pipe cleaner. I do mine 3 or 4 times. What that does is it tightens the center, that pipe cleaner down, and draws that bow in, tightening it up. The only thing I'll warn you about is if you continue to spin that bow and spin that bow, you're going to break the wire in your pipe cleaner. So now we have our bow, okay? It's still semi-fluffed. So what I like to do is I like to start at the back on the tails and make sure they're all pulled to the front. Start at the loops you put first, which is this snowflake, and all I'm doing is pulling them to the front. Then Santa, and there's my other Santa that we fixed, okay? Then we've got this gorgeous stitched ribbon. But then when we get up here to this one, this looks like a hot mess, don't it? Okay? And we'll fix these loops in just a second. So what we're going to do is, this one is where it should be. This loop right here is where it should be coming down on this side right there. This one isn't. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb and our finger, and right there where that pipe cleaner is, we're just going to take it real right way down in there, and we're going to twist it a half of a twist and pull it to this side. And that, because we twisted it right before, instead of just pushing it down in there, we twisted it. And then you move this little button or center loop over. Sometimes you have to get down in there and pull it like you want it, because it tightened it up really well right there in the center. Then after you got all your tails down the middle, go back here and put your loops where they were supposed to be. Most of the time they're already fluffed. You've just got to do very, very little rearranging. And our Santa is one. He's stuck right there. There we go. We got him. No problem. There. Santa's a little crumpled right there. I'm just going right straight down to that pipe cleaner and getting that pucker out. Putting that one. And there is our cute little Santa bow. For a little Santa there, over there, and on our tails. Isn't that adorable? Okay, so let's put our bow on and we'll trim our tails. So we've got our sign on right here. You've got the two, and I want to go back down the mesh just like I did putting the sign on. And I'm going to go right up here to the top, and I'm just poking that pipe cleaner down and behind, and I'll show you once I get both sides through. One side. You get it to where you can see it. I don't want to take it away from you guys. Okay. So what I have here is one of those ties right here and one on the other side of this frame. Now that I've got a hold of them, I like to take my bow and I like to rock it. And if some of the loops have gotten messed up, while I'm still holding on to that pipe cleaner, I want to fix it. Because it happens. And I'm going to pull it snug, but I'm not going to pull it super tight. And I'm going to twist it, and it's connected to the frame. Take our tails again, pull them down in the front. Making sure our loops look good. Get up there, Santa. But that we're not covering our little Santa up. Okay? Because I want him to show. Okay, guys. There's our Santa, our bow. So now let's do our little tails. This one I've already dovetailed. Let's do the one underneath it. You fold it in half, take the folded edge and come out to the corner. And it makes that beautiful V. This one, I want a little shorter. just a little V. Let's pull these back. There's our hider over here. Folding it in half and cutting out to the wired edge, guys. It's our other little Santa. We're gonna cut him a little shorter. That's gorgeous. This one, a little shorter. Because I like that Santa's to show a lot. Then I'm gonna even go shorter on this one. I think it'll be fun. And even on that one. These ribbons, they look how they'll do. Oh, that's so pretty. And all I'm doing is taking my thumb in my hands, my fingers, and just roll in that ribbon. Now for the fun part, guys. We're gonna put some beautiful embellishments on this. This wreath looks stunning as it is, right? But let's what's that guy says that goes bam? Let's take it up a notch. Anyway, I found these picks at the Dollar Tree. They've got these gorgeous little red apples on them, these pine branches, and another little different branch and a pine cone. I've only got, I believe, 4 or 5 of these, and I don't think it's going to take much. But this is going to turn a really gorgeous wreath into a stunning one. Okay, I think it needs a little bit of that Christmas feel to it. So what I like to do is when I buy these picks, and these are really nice picks, is I like to take them apart sometimes. And what I mean by taking them apart is I like to use the individual things, like say the pine cone in a different area. So I just sort of hold on to the rest of them, and maybe the apple in a different area, and I just pull them, and these all still have wire in them. Let's take this leaf. This will be gorgeous somewhere. So I normally take one apart at a time. That way I don't have a lot of little pieces laying around in case I want to use the whole one the next time I do something. And here again, I'm just going to clip this one off this stick. So let's leave these, put these whole ones over here, and look how many little pieces that we got. So we use these little green ties that were on this frame. They are like this, they call it a PVC because it's a type of a plastic, but it holds glue really well. Glue sticks to it really well. So what I'm going to do is, even though this is, you think, oh, it's just one little piece, let's just bend it around, give it some shape, you know, here and there. And it's got this little foliage down here. I'm just going to cut some of these little twigs off, because when you hit it with your hot glue gun, what's going to happen to this part of it, it's going to melt those. It depends on if it can be seen or not, whether you like the melted look or not. If it can't be seen, I don't mind it. So then I'm going to just take my glue gun, and on the back side of it, okay, I'm just going to add a little dab of glue. So we know we have one of those little ties right here that I curled around backwards. I'm just going to reach in there and slide that right in there. Whoops. And voila, we got a little piece of some greenery. Just going to add a little layer of dimension. Okay, same one here, except I don't need to cut any of the pine little branches deals off. Don't know what to call that sometime. And let's just go ahead right underneath this bow and put one, sort of raise your bow up, and I'm just slipping them right into the center where I did that. And this will just have like a little peekaboo effect. coming out over here to the side. Really, really, really adore these berries. So now we have this leaf. You can do one or two things. This is on a wire. You can pull it off, glue it in individually. I like the wires. It gives it a little length to it, so I'm just going to trim it off a little. But I'm going to bend this little wire to where this leaf stands up some. Just putting some glue on it. And I think I'm going to add it with that little wire right there. And then I'm going to take this cute, adorable little apple. I'm going to cut the wire completely off of it. That ricocheted. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right on its little bottom. And see where this green wire is here? Right there in the center? I'm going to make sure it touches on that. And wiggle it around because it gets in all those little creases and crevices. And now we have that adorable leaf with the little apple right there beside it. Just gives it a little something. So now we have this pine cone. This pine cone, I'm going to go ahead and cut the wire off of it too. I like these little slender ones. I'm going to put some glue right on its hiney. And I think I'm just going to come up here to the top on this outer part where there's a wire. I'm just going to turn it around, lay it a little flatter, put my pine cone right in the center, wiggle it around. And you can see right there where I put it. I think this berries would look precious right up here in this bow. So let me look and see how much we need to on the loops. Okay, we're going to cut it off just a little bit. It's got the wire. I'm going to bend it up. I'm going to put a little glue on our wire there. And I'm going to pull these loops forward. Going to go right back there under that bow. Put our loops right back where they go. Let me find my other one. There's Santa. There it is, over here. I moved it plumb out of our way. And that's just giving it a little bit of berries. And we're going to do one more pick. I've still got this other piece of greenery, so let's use it. I think this would look stunning in the bow. So I'm going to put some glue, a little bit too much, and it bends. Let's go right down in here. And have some greenery coming out of our bow too. So let's cut up one more pick and distribute it. And I think that will be it, guys. I think that will just give it the added touch we needed with not doing it overbearingly, still keeping it on a budget. This time I'm just using my nippers and going to town. I didn't even bother cutting them off. There we go. Just gonna cut these down off right here a little bit. They go flying, guys. There we go. Let's get this one down here ready. Let's put a little bit on the bottom here of this one. Stick it right in that center where we twirled that around. Take this pine cone, Still got a piece of wire sticking out there. I don't like that. Get us another glue stick here. Let's put us a little pine cone on this side. Sort of flatten that out a little. Move it around. Little peekaboo pine. This way you'll have some interest from looking at it all the way around it. Okay. We've got that one trimmed up. We've got an apple. We've got another sprig here. We've got something right there. Let's just put another berries in the bow. I want to put some glue on it. I'm just putting it on that wire stem. Just going right up there in that bow. I think that's adorable. Then I'm going to take this piece of greenery. No, I think I'll take this one. It's got that wire on it again. I'm going to bend it to give it some direction. Add a little glue. Put it right up and under there. Now, let's see. Why not? See, that's melting a little bit of those. I want something right here. I'm going right into that tie. Found a piece of hidden ribbon, a little treasure. Did we not have a leaf on that one, did we? So we only ended up with one leaf. Can have that. Let's take this leaf. Because I sort of liked that concept. Bend it up. Gives it a little cohesiveness. I'm going to go out here to the outside. Mash it right there. Take us another apple. Cut that wire off. Put some glue on its bottom. Come back right over there. Twist it in good. Uh-oh. My apple, I didn't let it dry. Ooh, yep. Need to put that back on there. Yeah, there it's taken. I must have hit it. Too in a hurry. Okay. Now then, we look at Santa. Just that little bit of added apple. The one right there. The little berries and leaves in the bow. Just a little bit of added something. Then I'll go back around, straighten all of my ribbons and stuff out, and you have a gorgeous wreath on a budget.